Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be back down in that blasted mum pad working on weeds because they've gotten out of control. If you watch my latest mum and small garden tour video, I took you down there briefly before my camera started to overheat to show you what I was working on, and that's where I'm going to be headed back today. I got a lot of progress made with the weeds last night, but I still got so much to go. But even though I want to say you're probably watching this, I don't know what day it is when you're watching this, but today's Saturday, so the store's going to be open. Dirk's got to go to his normal job today, so it's just going to be me down here. But I'm going to show you, if you've not watched any of the, I think I've only posted maybe 2 videos showing y'all here inside the store, so if you haven't seen that, I'm just going to show you just real quick what a normal Saturday looks like here for me, but especially during produce season. This is all the produce that we have left from the produce stand yesterday. We just have some tomatoes, some corn, and then just some odds and ends. And that's usually what we do. If the lighting here on the porch is not great, I apologize. Let's go inside. A little better. Okay, but that's typically what we do. We normally don't order any extra food or pick any extra food produce here before the weekend. We'll just sell what we have left from the produce stand. But if you've not seen, this is our little antique odds and ends store. It's here on the property with us. We were originally going to turn this into a rental house, do some renovations. As you can see, it still needs a lot of work. We need to redo the floor. We need to redo all the electric in here. But it works. I'm only open on Saturdays and Sundays. And during the summertime, a lot of the times, I'm not even open both days, depending on what we have going on. And I mentioned in one of my previous videos that come next year, I will only be open on Saturdays, except for just the 1 or 2 weekends that we usually get really busy with flower sales for Mother's Day and like mum sales in the fall, and then vegetable plant sales. But it's been a long time since we've really been able to get out to an auction, and this is just stuff we've accumulated over the last couple years, 2, 3 years, 4 years of having this place open. And we don't discriminate. It doesn't have to be an antique. It doesn't have to be vintage. If I like it, if it looks cool, I'll toss it in here. I try to keep most of my prices relatively low. I want to sell this stuff, not sit on it for the rest of my life. And, you know, I've had a couple people that have been able to come in here that are also resellers, come in here, buy stuff at a good price, and then turn around and resell it for more. And I say, more power to you. You know, I mark it low enough to where I can make at least a little bit of a profit. And if you can turn around and quadruple that profit, I'm all for it. But that's what it looks like in here. And before I get my open signs up and before I get down there with y'all to the mum pad, I also have a few little eBay packages that I have to wrap up for shipping out on Monday. With my eBay store, I ship every business day. So I get a little bit of a reprieve on Saturdays. I don't have to go to the post office. But other than that, it's every morning. If I have a sale from the previous day, I ship it the next day. The post office is a couple miles down the road. I have no excuses to not do that with being here all the time. But I'll take y'all back to my little eBay room. I don't know that I've actually shown that on any of the previous videos. But we'll go back there real quick. Let me grab my phone so that I know which items need to be. Yeah, I've got 10 minutes before we open. On Saturdays, we're typically open 11 to 5, and Sundays 1 to 5 right now. And it's dark. I'm not gonna turn on all the lights to let y'all see this, but this is my studio. I paint down here. In the middle there is where I do all my eBay listing now. But these are all my personal little collections. I like clowns. I like anything kind of weird and spooky, unique. And I don't hesitate to keep something. You know, we cleaned out some storage lockers with a couple really good friends of ours a few years back, and I found these several chalkware clowns that were obviously handmade here in Indiana, and they're probably worth a lot of money. But, you know, when it comes to something like that, I don't even get on eBay or wherever to look for prices. If it's something that I want and I like, I'm going to keep it until I don't want it anymore, and then I'll sell it or I'll give it away to somebody else that can appreciate it just as much. But I finally got this old bathroom that had been used as a storage area sort of cleaned out. I don't think I got that on any of the previous videos, so y'all have no frame of reference, but just know it was bad. And then back here is my room where all these items in here are currently physically listed on eBay. And it looks like chaos. And there are, I think I have 2,600 active eBay listings right now. But I have all the shelves labeled, and on each eBay listing in the description, I have the actual location where it's located. Super easy, super simple for me to get down here and get stuff wrapped up. But I'm gonna take care of these three real quick. They're just books, I believe, so it should be pretty quick. Run those up to the house, and then I'll get y'all out to the mum field to see exactly what I am battling today. All right. The eBay packages are all taken care of. I'm about to head down to the mums, but I just seen something that I got pretty excited about, so I have to share it. We have this sunflower field here right next to the store, and we planted it in sunflowers. One, because they're beautiful, and two, we thought it would be fun to do $1 you pick. You know, if you come out to the store on the weekends, you can come out and pick your own sunflower or multiple sunflowers. But we'll probably start doing that when we get more actually opening up and they get a little bit bigger. But we also got to pick our very first big old beefsteak ripened tomato right off the vine this morning. I've mentioned that we've had hundreds of tomatoes on those tomato plants just not wanting to turn, and they're finally starting to turn. And that's great, because that means we can hopefully here real soon start putting up, you know, tomato juice, salsas, and everything from our own tomatoes. And we can take our own tomatoes to the stand. We love being able to help out other local farmers by getting produce off of them to sell at the stand, but nothing beats being able to take all your own produce. It's a really good feeling. But here we are, back at the mum pad. Last night I went through and I individually fertilized every one of these bad boys by hand. It wasn't too bad because it was later in the evening, so the sun had already gone down for the most part. But in the last video, I kind of showed you I've done a lot of hot butterfly. I've done a lot of weeding around here and tossed a lot of the weeds into more weeds. But there's a method to that, because a lot of the bigger clumps that I pulled up had a bunch of wood chips still attached, and I don't want to waste those wood chips. They can still be used here. I just didn't want to spend the time at that moment banging it out and trying to get as many off as possible. I have a feeling that's something that I might be dealing with today. But over here, you know, all these weeds here, that's still part of the mum pad. There's wood chips and black mat underneath. Got a volunteer plant there, a volunteer something winding its way up that weed, a wild volunteer pumpkin or gourd plant there, and those will stay. I'll let those stay. But all these weeds here, y'all, they gotta go. It's not affecting the growth of the mums by any means. And when we start to sell mums in the fall, we'll move them up right in front of the store and in front of the greenhouse, customers very rarely will make it down here to actually look at the mums, but it's going to give me satisfaction. And they're bugging me, so we're going to make them go away. Look what we found.
What's up, YouTube?
You off to work?
Mama kicking butt and taking names.
She trying.
That's the weed there, though.
I missed a whole lot of weeds. But Papa Bear, he hadn't even been down here to see what I did last night. But see, I started down here yanking like all these here. I want them all gone. All these are getting pulled up today.
Sweet.
And then over here, all this stuff as well. I'm gonna let the volunteer pumpkin or gourd plants stay and just try to reroute their vines so they don't take over the mums, because they have a good habit of doing that.
Now there's a square right here. This square right here. You probably won't be able to do nothing with that because there's not black paper under it.
Oh, is there not? Okay. No. Well, maybe that's where I'll throw. I was wondering where I was going to throw, because I think that with the big clumps that still have chips and everything attached, I think I'll throw it there, cover that up, well, add to it. But as they start to die off, you know, I just figure it'll be easier to reclaim those wood chips after the plants themselves are already dead. Oh, the weeds are already dead. I don't want to fight with that today. Work smarter, not harder. And it's already going to be a whomper of a heat day today, and I'm going to be out here in direct sunlight. I've got my sunblock on though. Practice safe skincare. And Papa Bear, before you take off, go look at the sunflowers. They're starting to open.
I saw that last night.
Oh, did you?
There was a few. There's 2 or 3 open.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool when them all open up.
Yeah, do our U-pick.
Yeah.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, if you want sunflowers, go to Dark and Alley's Treasures. They'll sell them to you.
Yeah, gladly. But I'm gonna put y'all on pause for a second so I can give Papa Bear a big old kiss before he goes to work. And we're back. I had to run up to the house and switch out my coffee for water. I only had maybe 2 or 3 drinks of my coffee this morning, but I let myself sleep in a little bit later. And by the time it was done and I was done cooking us breakfast and everything, and got down here and got the store ready to open, it's hot out. And I don't want to be drinking hot coffee when I'm out in direct sunlight. So I switched that out for water, and now I'm ready to work. The issue being, this GoPro is already super hot. And I'm kind of trying, there's no shade to be seen where I'm going to be working. I'm wondering if maybe I can rig up something to give it some shade that's not going to distort y'all's view. You'd think with as much junk treasures we have around here, I could come up with something pretty quickly. Try to get maybe a chair down here and get something to cover it. I tried doing that in one of the videos, just using my hand when I was recording dark, and I'm doing this in the absolutely hardest way possible. I don't know where I want to start, y'all. Do I want to start over there or around the potato ring? Because the potato ring area is looking pretty rough too. I don't even know. And what on earth can I use as a little bit of shade? And I don't know. My mind's wandering. Okay, I'll be right back with y'all again, and hopefully I can actually start getting to work that time. All right, y'all, that's what I came up with. Hopefully the picture still comes out all right. Let me kind of... Oh yeah, that should work out great. Just a little something to keep it from being in direct sunlight. It's still gonna get hot. I'm still gonna have to change the battery probably 10 times today. But it's a start. And I reckon we'll get started here by the potato ring. That way at least I'm closer to the store if I get a customer. And this is a prime example of last night, picking up a big old clump of weeds around the mum plants that just mud and wood chips. And I want to save those wood chips, so we'll just toss it into that pile that Papa Bear said doesn't have the black mat underneath. The weeds that have the black mat underneath tend to come up really, really easily. Sometimes with just a little bit of fight. But yeah, all these clumps were from last night around the mums that I was weeding. And again, it's not anything that was impacting their growth, not anything that's going to impact sales when it comes down to it. It's just a little bit better curb appeal, for lack of a better phrase, even though you can't see these from the road. And still haven't mown the grass yet. I still think I'm just gonna let it keep getting crazy. I just cover my toes when I'm out in it now. If y'all didn't watch that last garden tour update video, I had just gotten done talking about, oh yeah, see that's attached, but look how easily that's coming up from the mat. Oh yeah, that's gonna look a lot better once I'm done. The heck? Rope. But anyway, the last garden tour video I did, if you haven't seen it, I had just gotten done talking about how I was kind of letting the grass go a little bit. And on the one hand, you know, it's good for the pollinators, so I didn't mind it too bad. And I swear not 20 seconds later, I get some grass up underneath my open-toed shoes, and I got stung in 2 toes at the same time. And wow, that hurt. I had 2 stingers I had to get out, and I was able to get them both out successfully. Well, I was on my feet the rest of that day, and a couple hours after I'd gotten stung, my toe, one of the toes started swelling, the top of my foot started turning red and swelling. So something in whatever stung me, my body did not like. But they're much better now. Some Benadryl did the trick with that, and about a day and a half after I got stung, I was back to normal. But I know now not to go through the tall grass without covered shoes. Oh, that's gonna be so satisfying to see when this is done, y'all. If you've had any fight with weeds, you know. And I'm still not done weeding up in the tomato garden. Well, I'm done weeding. I'm not done putting down ground cover. But I can't really work up there when the store's open. At least here, I'm just right behind the greenhouse, and if somebody pulls in, I can hear them and go take care of them. Goodness. I know for next year, you know, everything homesteading is a learning curve, experimentation. Every time you do something, once you're done with it, you're going to think of 20 reasons or 20 ways you could have done it better and improved. So nothing on the homestead is ever really 100% complete. And I knew I was going to be out here in the heat, and my good working bibs are filthy dirty, and my good working jean shorts are filthy dirty, and my other shorts are just cotton. I'm not a shopper. I hate shopping, and I hate clothes shopping, and I'll deal with what I've got until I absolutely have to go shopping for something else. And I said, it's gonna be a hot one. I'm not gonna be out there in leggings all day. And I had 2 pairs of pretty wild bell-bottom jeans that I had mistakenly got 2 of the exact same pair, and I haven't worn them in a couple years anyway. So, pair of scissors later, voila, shorts. And Mama Bear's staying cool today. Pile of shame over there, I think, is going to probably be at least half as tall as me by the time I get all this weeded. But I'm going around, and now I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful because I don't want to yank out any of the potato blooms from the stack, which are actually kind of taken off. I'm really surprised at how they've come into it, at least on this bottom layer. You'll be able to see it a lot better once I get everything weeded, but I'm super happy with it. And the GoPro, even though I have it shaded and that's helping, it's really starting to get warm. And I'm going to be on this potato ring for a little while longer. So I'm going to go ahead and set y'all in some true shade. And I'll bring y'all back when the potato ring's done so you can see the final view of how it looks after it's been weeded. And then I'll move on to the next patch. The potato ring is done. Essentially, I had a couple breaks for customers, and then Dirk, if he's bouncing around between different projects in the same day, he likes to call it, you know, he's like a squirrel, he gets distracted. I call it being a puppet bear. So I've been hopping around between different weed piles, but right here, I mean, this isn't under any ground cover or on top of any ground cover. And there's nothing I can do about that right now. I'm not going to bother weed eating or anything. So that'll just kind of look messy in that corner. But y'all, look how much better it looks around this ring. You can actually get right up to it without being calf deep in weeds. So satisfying. And you can see my pile of shame is definitely growing, but that's my next area, and I think that'll actually be a lot easier. I was noticing last night when I was pulling up different clumps of the weeds over there, huge patches were coming up at the same time, and I'm hoping I can knock that out pretty quickly. The sun's getting hot, and one issue that I have when it's this hot and I'm out working is that obviously I stay hydrated and I'm drinking water. I tend to want to get my thermos and just gulp down that cold water like it's going out of style. And I know I need to be taking smaller sips or else Mama Bear's going to be having that come right back up. But I need to run up to the house, refill my water, get my chair and GoPro cover shade repositioned, and then I'll get to this, and then this project will be a wrap today. There's a lot of smaller little areas like this. It needs it because that's how this area got so out of control in the first place. I see a little weed and I tell myself, oh, it's just a little weed, I'll get it later. Well, I don't, and then it ends up becoming a multi-day, multi-hour project. But I'll be down here every evening this week. It's supposed to be really hot in the 90s, and I'll be down here watering the mums with the watering system. But as I'm monitoring that, I'll be cleaning up any little small spots that I don't get today. So they will get got, but it'll just take me a few more days to get that done. I'm going for major progress, but not perfection today. I've been out here sweating and sweating. That's my pile of shame. And I still have all this to do. I've made a lot of progress, so I'm happy with that. But even though a lot of these are coming up fairly easy, there were a lot more there than I realized. And I hear some of the rabbits clanking around their water dishes, so that means I need to go up there and check on them and refill some water and everything. And I'm still going to be plugging away at this. I'll probably wait until the evening time when I'm down here watering the mums and everything. I figure, you know, I'm here by myself and there's no need to go giving myself heat exhaustion or heat stroke down here. No sense of that. These weeds will still be here tomorrow if I don't get them done today. But thank you for tagging along and popping inside the store with me and coming and seeing my weed adventure. You almost got to see me have a blowout. My field dudes, as I like to call them, they're holding on by that little much. And I'm gonna wear them until they fall off and I can't wear them anymore. But I'm sure I'll bring you back down here at some point after the finished product's done, so y'all can see what it looks like without being overcome by weeds. But thank you for tagging along with me. As always, we appreciate every one of you that watches, subscribes, shares our channel, tells people about us. You know, this is fun. And if y'all weren't watching, we wouldn't have anybody to do it for. Wouldn't be quite the same. We'd probably take a year to get a project done versus just hopping outside and getting it done. So we appreciate you. And like we like to say here on Mama Bear's Homestead and More, until next time, friends, keep on keeping on.